All right, what's going on, y'all? So I want to talk about Meek Mill and the tweet he had put out about not making a single dime off of the record label. And he questioned how much money they spend on him and all other type of stuff. Now, the question that I have is, when you sign your record deal, I always heard about these record deals being one-sided, not for the artists, mainly for the labels. Now, I always want to know, of course, when you're signing these record deals, who is going over this contract with them or before them and sit there detail by detail and explain everything in the contract. I'm talking about from top to bottom, front to back page, whatever pages, how many pages it is, who is actually going through it with them. Because if the contract doesn't make sense, I wouldn't sign it. Now, I understand some people be like, oh, man, I just want to be part of the label. I just want to get my foot in the ground and get my feet wet and get my data. Personally, if you believe in yourself that much, and I understand some people, we come in from the hood, poverty and all that type of stuff, single mother people, I can't be mad at them. But these contracts, if they're set up that way to make you lose or to make you stay in debt with the label, then it's kind of, how can I say, pointless to sign a deal without saying, hey, y'all got to rewrite this, or I don't like this contract, I need to come up with something else. Or maybe my lawyer can write the contract and then we go from there and see what we can do. But I don't know what these contracts look like. Of course, I always heard about, artists getting advance money, but the advance money is basically a loan. So that's something you have to pay back regardless if you get the cash from somewhere else, whether you have some type of deal with some other brand or clothing, or who made you have liquor, whatever, and you take that money and pay that advance back if you use it, of course. But my major concern is like the contracts, they're being signed, and if they're being signed, then we complaining after the fact. And you can sit up here and say, oh, you put time in, you put albums in, you brought money to the label. Why can't you renegotiate your contract? That's probably up to the label if they want to do that. But probably the major problem is then they're probably not going to do that at all. They're not going to try to renegotiate the contract. Now, if you get fed up and probably don't put out no music, release no music and stuff like that, I don't know. You might have an advantage of, trying to get a contract renegotiated. But we've hearing, like, I think Anita Baker was the one that finally got her master's, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe she was the one that finally got her master's. And you got to think about Anita Baker, when she put out music compared to where it is right now. We're in 2021. Just think about all the years that's passed. She had hits back in the day. And now just think about getting her master's now, and that's one thing that you actually want is your master's, because that's where the bread, butter, the steak, the potatoes, the greens, the whole enchilada is the master's. Once they have your master's, that's where they can sit up here and negotiate all kinds of types of deals from anywhere, and get millions and millions of dollars, depending on how big you are, even billions of dollars. So for the artists out there, people that's in the industry, people that's, signed as artists, if y'all know these contracts, like I said, I don't know them like that, put down the comments about the contracts. And the thing that came across my mind was when I was watching a little video of Floyd Mayweather. He was talking about how he bought himself out of his contract, and I believe he paid at the time, this is when he was still like, not really big as he is right now. I think he paid $750,000 to get out of his contract because he didn't like his contract. They can maneuver and take whatever they want. So I don't know if this is an opportunity that Meek Mill can sit up here and buy himself out of his contract. You always hear about people buying out their contracts, even with athletes. They buy out such and such contract and then they was free to go to another team or whatever. So I think that's probably, you can't going around spending a whole bunch of money. I don't know how much it would cost for him to buy himself out of his own contract, but that might be the best option, to just buy yourself out of the contract if you feel like you in the being done wrong, or you feel like this label deal is not making any sense to you. And like I said, I don't know how much it would cost for you to buy yourself out of, you know, I think everybody contract might be a little bit different, you know, depending on how much they still have left on the contract and everything. So you know, if you can buy yourself out the contract, I think that would be the best move. It might hurt you financially for a minute, but if you're going around buying everything, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on jewelry, I think this would be this actually would be a good deal for you to sit up here and say, you know what, if it costs me this to get out my contract, I'm gonna have to stop buying stuff for a minute. I have to slow down for a minute. You know, some people ain't gonna be able to get no money the way they expect, and just buy your contract out and then just go and do your own thing, start releasing your own music. Because I believe a lot of artists nowadays, if you're in that situation where you already been putting music out and people know your name, you need to start promoting yourself. You know, we have all this social media out here. It's no way in the world that you should be depending on a record label to push your music when you're out here creating all these different type of videos on your own on these social media platforms. Like, what is the purpose of having a label right now? Because you stream music. I don't know. Now, that's a whole nother thing. I don't even know how they get paid off of music being streamed. But who are actually physically buying CDs? You know, you probably still have people buying vinyl and stuff like that. You probably still have people buying, you know, here and there CDs. But the bulk of everything is being downloaded or on iTunes or Google Play or wherever platform you can buy music or you can stream music. So the artists out there that are established, they shouldn't even really want to be part of a label or any type of situation unless it's a large amount of money and you can get the playing field to be like even out for yourself. Because like I said, what is the point of being with a label? Because the labels are not what they were, what, 25, 30 years ago? So I would sit up here as an artist that's been established. I would sit up here and like honestly buy myself out the contract and just go my own route. Like, you have to honestly depend on yourself. You have to put yourself in that position of saying, hey, I can do this. Like, I've been with this label for X amount of years. I've learned a lot. Now, if you didn't learn a lot from being on the labels, how to do certain things or put people that's on your crew in position to learn certain things about the industry, that way you can build your own situation, I think that's a sad moment right there. Because if you're in the label and you see everything going on, your entourage, you knew everybody need to pick up something. Like, somebody need to learn how to do this in the label. Somebody need to learn how to do that in the label. And then you create your own, and then you don't have to worry about having a label, you know. But, you know, this is my little quick talk about it. Like I said, if anybody know about record contracts, you know, put them down in the comments. Because like I said, I don't want to speak too much about them because I don't know anything really about those contracts at all. I want y'all to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.